What's going on, guys? It's Salted Neos here, and remember when I said I think it was Saturday I posted that profile that if I did well on at the locals the next day that there would probably be a second profile the weekend? Well, it happened with the most unlikely of things. We got the more combo-oriented version of Cyberdark here because it's the only variant I figured out how to do anything with. Pretty sure I don't. I'm pretty sure even if we had the card release, I pretty much need Magician's Souls for the control variant, so I can't do anything with it yet. So I decided to play the new structure deck. Most people were playing more casually oriented decks, and it seemed to do better than most of those. So it did top 4 of that locals at least, so I figured why not at least post the profile. So we're starting right off with 3 of the life support that is Cyberdark Chimera. I'm not even sure if 3 is the right number for this thing, because realistically, opening it without a way to get the other Cyberdark cards engraved doesn't even help you that much. So basically what it does is if you discard a spell or trap from hand, you can add Power Bomb from your deck to your hand, but you get then locked into only using Dragon and Machine. Is it Dragon and Machine Cybers? Yeah, it's Dragon and Machine Cybers as fusion material for the turn. But also once during the turn, you're allowed to use grave effect. You're allowed to fuse from the grave as well by banishing them. And if this thing gets sent to the grave, you get to mill another cyber. You get to send another Cyberdark from deck to grave, as long as it has a different name from the rest. So pretty good. The problem is you almost always want to be searching this thing instead. I'm pretty sure it can there's hands where opening it was fine. Honestly, it's hard to tell if you want to just run it at 1 or if you want to run it at higher numbers for that reason or not. So for now, yeah, 3 Chimera. We got 3 Cannon, which is the thing you almost always just want to be searching for a Chimera with. So you can send it from your hand to the grave to add any Machine Cyberdark from deck to hand, which is pretty good. It doesn't add the other really good Cyberdark, which unfortunately makes a lot of the deck a lot worse than it would be otherwise. But this thing was released before Chimera, so I mean, it was realistically supposed to just be trying to get the original 3 Cyberdarks. And if it's equipped to any monster, or no, is it just a Cyberdark? No. Yeah, if it's equipped, you just get to send a deck or a monster from deck to grave. Foolish Burial. Not bad, and if it gets sent to the grave all equipped, draw a card. So if you had to equip it with like the Trap or like Cyber Darkness Dragon, you get a free draw if you use the negation. Not too bad at all. And then we have 3 Cyberdark Claw. So Cyberdark Claw is similar to Cannon, except it searches a spell trap. And well, searching a spell trap makes it a lot better, because you can get Realm or Horizon with it. And it has a similar effect to Cannon, except it dumps from extra deck, which changes your extra deck a bit. And then same sort of thing before if it gets sent to... Or no, if it's sent to grave while it's equipped, it just adds Cyberdark back. I honestly thought it was the same draw effect. But yeah, 3 of. You want to be opening this, because honestly, this thing... You need to get a 5th Cyberdark engraved, and usually this has to be the 5th. And because it has to be the 5th, and you can't usually get to it, it kind of makes a lot of the deck awkward. Aside from the fact that it's already Glass Cannon, I really don't like that about it. So... I think this is the end of the Cyberdark lineup. We have 1 of each Horn, Dark, and Keel. Just names, really. That's the only reason they're all in here. I picked to go 1 of each instead of 2 of one and 1 of another. Mostly because it's in a really specific brick hand. You can Power Bond just to make the original Cyberdark Dragon to have something on board. Which is better than nothing. Probably not the best reason, but yeah, there's my reason. Besides, different names is a lot easier to handle. And then we're on to these Cyber Dragon monsters, which is a little more than this is a little more than I initially tested, but I ended up going with a heavier lineup. So we're starting off with 3 Cyber Dragon Core. This is the most important thing in the deck because it searches the spell traps, and it's your first normal summon. Because it's a normal summon that searches the spell traps, it makes the combo a lot easier. Just add a Cyber Spell Trap, and then if you're behind, if your board gets broken, you can just banish it to get Cyber Dragon from the deck, or Nastier, and if you get Nastier, you can just get only 2 or 3 out of it, which is not bad. Speaking of Nastier, 1 Nastier. It's honestly, this is probably the most cuttable of the Cyber Dragons, but I also wanted to run it because if you open the Buster Whelp, you can use the core to search, what is it? Oh my god, I'm already forgetting. Core to search Emergency or Repair Plant, and then search Nastier to get the Buster Whelp out of hand, which then makes the Cyber Dark Dragon equip Buster Whelp, which is a thing. 1 Cyber Dragon and 1 Hers. Hers usually searches Cyber Dragon when it's sent for Horizon. And more importantly, if you equip that to Cyber Dark Dragon, it'll re-add Core for next turn, which is huge. And to round off the monsters, we have one Dragon Buster Destruction Sword because, equip Dragon deck. And we're on to the spell lineup. We have 3 of Life Support, Cyberdark Realm. It's an additional normal summon and it adds a Cyberdark from deck to hand as long as it's not the same name it's in your grave. Actually stupid for the deck. And then you can also equip stuff in the opponent's grave if that ever comes up. I don't know, in the mirror match. And then 3 of Cybernetic Horizon, which is honestly the reason I debate cutting Buster Whelp completely, because this locks you... While this locks you into machines, it does so much more for the combo variant that honestly it might just be worth it more to consistently end on Cyberdark Dragon, or Cyberdarkness Dragon. So what it does is you can set... So as long as you have 1 light or dark dragon or machine cyber monster in hand, you can send that and 1 from your deck to the grave. Then you add a cyber monster from deck to hand, and then you send a cyber machine fusion from deck to grave, extra deck to grave. And then you're locked into machines. Does a lot of life support, basically. And, yeah. Because it locks you into machines, it makes Protector Whelp almost not even worth it. And then we have 1 Cyberdark Inferno, which I don't even remember why it was in here. I've never resolved it once in testing or during that tournament. It doesn't do much in the combo variant. It's more for the control variant. I'm almost positive. Speaking of Cyber Spell Traps, we have 3 copies of Cyber Emergency to grab Core, most likely. And 1 Repair Plant for Core to search. If you can link off the Core, then you just get something else for next turn. 2 Power Bond. I feel like this is supposed to be at 1, but because I was running multiple Chimeras, I decided to run 2 Power Bond in case I could use it again. Spoiler alert, you almost never can use it twice. But if you open Power Bond, you literally just lose. So I feel like I had no choice but to run 2. And then one Overload Fusion, which is searchable off Chimera Rafflesia when it's sent off Claw. And more importantly, this thing is for Verite Anaconda in a follow-up turn. 3 of the most cuttable spell in the deck, Allure of Darkness. I never resolved this because honestly, this deck does not care. This deck has an issue with getting monsters. And said issues with getting monsters means if you only have 1 monster in hand and it's a dark machine, you don't draw another one, you're dead, because then you have nothing. And to round off the spells, we have 1 Foolish Burial for, again, Buster Whelp mostly, and 1 Call by the Grave for Hand Traps, because this deck loses the instant it gets hand trapped. Another thing I really didn't like about it. And yeah, as you can see, traps are here. We have 2 Cyberdark Invasion, which is the thing you really hope you can get with your combo on board, because it gets you an extra negation. And it's also a pop if you want it to be. I usually didn't use that effect, but it is there. And then 3 of the structure deck included Infinite Impermanence, because why the hell not? Good hand trap. Though we're a little over 40 cards, so maybe that's what you caught if you just want to go all in and consistently get into the combo. Extra deck. I did sort this, right? Okay, good. So we have 2 Cyberdarkness Dragon. Basically, this is your negation that you keep using, and the thing you almost always want to summon. You don't really often go into Cyberdark and Dragon, because honestly, having the negation to interrupt is better. And then we have 1 Cyberdark Dragon, which, as I stated before, is mostly only in my build for that 1 specific brick hand, because there was empty extra deck space left. So, had it. We also have the 1 Cyberdark End Dragon, which you could summon by tributing a Cyberdark level 10 or lower fusion equipped with Cyber End Dragon. And it's basically it's like Ultimate Falcon. It's unaffected by all opponents' effects. And then it also gets multiple attacks per turn. So cool enough, I guess. Then the 1 Cyber End Dragon, which you try to mill off the extra deck. Honestly, I recommend not even getting in the habit of milling this thing unless you absolutely know you're going to have 5 engraved by end of combo, because sending one of the Cyberdark extra deck monsters to banish from Powerbond just makes more sense, honestly. And because we're running Cyber Dragons, I figured running 1 of each of these 2, Chimera Tech Fortress and Mega Fleet for removal will be good. Used this a lot yesterday, because realistically, having outs to things with just Mega Fleet is really good. I didn't face any machine decks yesterday, so I didn't play Fortress Dragon. And then, for Powerbond stuff, we have 1 Overdragon and 1 Rampage Dragon. Realistically, of course, I didn't use Overdragon much. But if you do the combo going second, you can banish your whole grave and get this thing super beefy. Again, mostly in your side extra deck space. And the Rampage Dragon is just where the Cyber Dragon plays, again. And, spell trap removal's good. Having multiple attacks is good. Sending hers to grave to get another Cyber Dragon is always good. And so, for the remainder of the fusions in the extra deck, we have 1 Elder Entity Entis for when you mill off Claw. And, of course, because I still don't own this thing, Chimera Rafflesia. Had to loan it again yesterday, 2 days in a row. probably going to buy that soon. Just there for Claw, really. And then we have the links that are left. So we have one Cyber Dragon Seeker. This is almost always what you make during your combo with the core plus the plus the Chimera, because it's just easy to make. And you can also use it to help out things. It's the best Link 2 machine you can use. Though I also have one Barricade Board Blocker for other specific instances. Also for getting Buster Whelp out of the hand, though. Which is just, because you know, Buster Lock. Make it easier. It's also a Link 2 machine, so while you're locked into machines, it helps. And then for the non-link machines, we have, or non-machine links, sorry, we have one Verte Anaconda because Overload Fusion, and one Protector Whelp, because if you can somehow not need Cybernetic Horizon, you just use this and send the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword and equip that to the monster, or to the Cyber Darkness Dragon. There you go. Preferably off the traps, you get the 1000 attack instead of the, like, what, 400 it normally has. And for the side deck, we have not organized it, apparently. Okay, so that's the order. So we have a huge Kaiju lineup that I'm gonna admit I never decided into. I almost did, but I just decided to nib for that matchup instead. So we have one Gamma Seal, one Kamungus. Figured the names being different was better. 2 Jisekiru because Cyber Dragons, you confuse it off. And I'm missing a Kaiju Slumber. Where is it? 3 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber because, well, Dark Hole, honestly. And for the remainder of the side deck, we have the 3 Nibiru. Because, you know, Nibiru was mostly jank decks yesterday, so Nibiru usually outs a lot of those. We have the Spell Trap removal lineup of 2 Twin Twister, 1 Harvey Featherduster. And for the last 2, I just put in 2 Dark Ruler no more for the negation boards that I never ended up facing. So yeah, that is the end of this for now. Maybe combo tutorials for the combo variant are all over YouTube now. Maybe I'll do one if there's demand for it, but for now, I'm good. I'm kind of just wanting to go to something else for now. But I mean, if the demand's there, I'll surely do it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good day.